Desiree D. Rise back with a real impromptu live. Let me get this set up a little bit better. Perfect. Listen, I've been doing the higher self readings, and I have to tell you guys what I've been discovering is the biggest blockage to receiving downloads and transmissions from the higher self. Okay. Um, First of all, if you don't know, go and get your higher self transmission readings, right? If you're needing support with being able to understand the downloads coming from your higher self, tap into this energy of this 8-8 portal, of this Lionsgate portal that is really over a span of time that is happening right now. If you need help with understanding more and more how you are meant to embody your purpose right now, get this reading. I mean, it is so good. When I tell you this reading is so good, I've been blown away reading for people. Shout out to all of you who already have your readings. And if you don't, this is the final call, okay? This is the final call. Listen, the number one blockage to being able to receive downloads and transmissions from the higher self is this. Before I say it, I want y'all to put it in the comments what you think it is. Put it in the comments what you think it is. Actually, I need to get the link because I need to share the link with y'all, right? But hopefully Dream is able to find it. Babe, if you go to my website, DesireeTheCoach.com, you press view all products on that first page, you'll see the reading and you'll be able to drop it in here since I don't have it to drop it here with y'all right now. But let me tell y'all, the number one distraction, well, the answer is distraction. The number one blockage to being able to receive transmissions from the higher self, being able to tap into your downloads, the number one blockage is distraction. It's not that the information is not coming through. It's not that spirit is not speaking to you. It's not that the higher self is not showering you with insight. It's distraction. And distraction is a multi-layered, multi-tiered thing. Because on one hand, sometimes we can be distracted with thinking one thing is more important than the other. So our priorities are out of whack, right? What our higher self really wants us to be focusing our energy and attention on, we are putting that energy into something else that may be our ego, right? Or our human goals or desires probably is saying, no, you need to do this instead of that. Distraction. The second level of why distraction is the biggest blockage to receiving insights and downloads from the higher self is because when we're distracted, we're not in the present moment. And I'm just telling y'all, all the things that have come through in the readings that I've done so far is like your higher self is talking to you. You're receiving the downloads, right? You're receiving the symbols in your daily life. But due to distraction, you aren't able to pick up on what is important, what you need to do, what your higher self is trying to guide you towards, or you can't decode the symbols, right? So you'll be having an experience that symbolizes something deeper, but because your mind is so fragmented on all of this other stuff, you can't get down to the root of what spirit is actually trying to communicate. Right? So as spirit was talking to me about this and I was just sitting with it, I was like, okay, spirit, what is this energy? And spirit was like, most people are battling with ADHD. Attention, deficit, hyper, whatever. Y'all know what it is. ADHD. Most people are dealing with ADHD. And because they are dealing with ADHD, they are unable to lock in on the insights that their higher selves is giving them. ADHD is super spiritual, right? And over the last few days, as I've been sitting with this, I've been like, damn. And I resonated with the channel Spirit was giving me, because Spirit was like, you talking to yourself. Yeah, you're doing these readings for people and you're getting all of this insight. But Spirit was really like, Desiree, you be dealing with ADHD too. And so as I started to do more research on ADHD, Spirit was like, you just have to share this. It's ADHD, and not being able to focus our attention is the number one blockage to connecting with your higher self. The going from this to that, to this, to that, to this is the number one blockage. Because if we are able to focus our attention, if we are able to zoom in and zoom out of all the extra stuff, right? If we are able to really focus on what is in front of us, we would receive so many downloads and so much insight into what Spirit is actually calling for us. But because our focus is so fragmented, because we are distracted, or because we think one thing is more important than what our higher self, our spirit team is actually giving us, this is the thing that stops us from being able to activate the transmissions that we are receiving. And something that is even more interesting, something that as I've been sitting with this, I'm like, wow, I'm so blown away. Did you all know that distraction is a coping mechanism? Distraction, a lack of focus, or being mentally fragmented, right? So what do I mean by that? I mean, you're supposed to be working on a class that you are in. But every time you start working on that class, you end up shopping on your phone, or you scrolling Instagram at the same time. You wanted to write out a plan that you have for a new business venture. But instead of you being able to lock in on that, you got the kids running around, mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy. Or notifications, or friends calling your phone. Or even you may be on the computer doing some sort of work, right? Or I don't know, you may be even having a conversation with your partner, because this has happened too. I'll be having a conversation with Dream, but my body wants me to grab my phone. My body wants me to be scrolling my phone while having this conversation. And when that happened and I put my phone down, Spirit was like, that's exactly what's happening when the higher self is trying to translate a message to us. Got the phone in your hand, got the TV on, got the iPad on, got all of this stuff on, and not able to zoom in, not able to focus in, key in on whatever it is that you need to be doing. So the higher self is like, I'm with you, I'm talking. The higher self has to talk to you, because the higher self is you. The only thing that is stopping that transmission from landing and creating a change and shift and growth is focus. And my kids were a reflection of this to me over the past week. I had them doing some work, and I could just see when they would get distracted. I could just see when they would hear something on the TV, or their younger siblings would distract them. I could just see this happening. And I was like, man, a part of what's slowing down their growth is that, like Shaquila said, they're not present when they are doing the thing that they're needing to grow in. And so what Dream and I started doing right now is, whenever it's time for our kids to do their daily reading, they got to go to their separate rooms. They got to go to their own rooms and read. Close the door. You got 30 minutes of undistracted reading. Now, we can only hope that when they go in the room and they close the door, that they're actually reading the book and they're not actually touching stuff and doing all of these different things. But we're setting the environment and we're setting the tone for them to be focused. And so through the reflection of my kids, I've been able to see them grow as readers and as writers, just by making them be secluded. No TV, no iPad, no having each other to distract them from what it is they need to be learning and growing in. And so this was Spirit has just been downloading to me, and I'm so grateful to be able to share this with you. And like I said, the higher self transmission readings will give you more clarity on what your higher self is calling forward to you right now and saying, this is the thing that is important for right now. The higher self is saying, this is the actual thing that you need to heal or transform or embody. This is the quality about you that is great, that is beautiful, that is wonderful, that you actually need to spend more time in. So the higher self transmission readings are going to give you insight to that, as well as practical steps, physical steps that you could be doing day in and day out in order for you to take heed to the transmissions that are coming through, in order for you to embody the wisdom that is coming through. But I just had to share that with y'all, that distraction is the number one blockage to receiving insight from the higher self. And I want you to not judge yourself, because I realize that so many of us are dealing with this. It's something that I constantly am working on to say, okay, D-Ray, put this down. Don't do this. Like focus on this, or set a timer for this, or just get this done before you move on to anything else. This is literally what I've been doing with myself. Even when it comes down to my readings, when I get in that zone, I shut out everything. I can't even hear my kids, because I know and understand that I got to be focused and I got to be tapped in. But I just wanted to share with y'all that the distractive energy, the ADHD energy, is literally a protection coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism. And I think when I started to sit with that, I started to give myself more grace. I was listening to this therapist. His name is Gabor Mate. Gabor, last name Mate. And if you have children, I recommend you watching his content, because he really helps you to understand the emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects of children, and how to maneuver that when raising them and rearing them and trying to support them in becoming who they're meant to be. But he says ADHD is a learned behavior that happens when we are in a stressful environment. When he said that, I just resonated so deeply. I was just like, wow. He said, what happens is while we're young, we're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? He says what ends up happening is we're in an emotional environment. Maybe it's our parents yelling at us, or our parents arguing with each other, or maybe it's just being asked to perform something that we don't have the skills to perform. And so while we're in the moment, we'll detach from the present. We'll remove ourselves from the present. Physical body is here, right? But my mind, my emotions, my energy, it's somewhere else. It's in another reality. It's thinking about that outfit I want to wear. It's thinking about what I got to cook today. It's thinking about what a friend said. It's thinking about the drama and the trauma at the job. It's thinking about the past and old situation. Literally, you're somewhere else. We're mentally and emotionally traveling. And he said, at first, it served our highest good, because as kids with limited resources and limited insight on how to navigate trauma, the best thing we can do is escape. But once we get to a certain point where we need focus, we need to be intentional, we need to be, consistent, ADHD and detachment and a lack of presence now becomes our detriment. And so I just thought it was so beautiful. And I just wanted to come and tell y'all, if you're not connecting with your higher self, or you're not seeing your manifestations come to pass, it may just be that you're distracted, and you're distracted because you haven't yet learned how to deal with stress. You haven't developed healthy skills and mechanisms that would help you to remain present even when you're uncomfortable. So I think one of the things that I may do a live stream just on that soon, or a video on that, different techniques and different skills that we can tap into that can help us to manage our stress better, which would ultimately help us to have more focus. The more we're able to focus, the more confident we are in the downloads and the transmissions we're receiving from our higher selves, the more willing we are to act on them, which is what will bring forth our manifestations in a quicker, more aligned way. But I just wanted to share with y'all, it's just ADHD. It's just distraction. It's just, and this be me, I be in the kitchen, right? And I start, like, let's say I start cooking. And then in the middle of me cooking, I might pick up my phone and start reading something. And then out of nowhere, I'm walking to the bathroom. And when I get in the bathroom, I notice that there's something dirty and I instantly start cleaning it. And then before you know it, I forget that I was cooking. Now I'm running into the kitchen like, oh shit, I forgot this food is on the stove. So I've just had, and I'm still learning. That's how I'm able to come and talk to y'all about this. I just had to learn to breathe and to settle into the moment and to embrace the moment and to trust the moment and to trust that I'm equipped to deal with anything that shows up in my space. And that I can just, and it doesn't mean that I'm not going to have all my hands, because if we look at the goddesses, Lakshmi and Sarasvati, they got hands all around them, right? So I'm going to always have my hands in multiple things, because I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, I'm a spiritual healer. I got all of these things. So my hands are always going to be in a whole bunch of different things. But Spirit is like, first of all, what two things can work well together? So cooking and washing the dishes, that works well together because I'm in the kitchen. But talking to my husband and scrolling my phone, that doesn't work well together. That's distraction. I'm missing the present moment. Maybe it's out of fear. Maybe it's out of anxiety. Maybe it's out of worry. Maybe it's out of a defense mechanism. But ultimately, it's a distraction from what's most important. And so if you've been wondering why you've been challenged with receiving your downloads, or if you've been like, okay, Spirit, what's coming through for me in this 8-8 Lionsgate portal? One, go and get your higher self transmission readings. It will support you 100%. But even if you don't get a reading, see how you can focus more. See how you can eliminate distractions. See how you can take deep breaths, and see how you can, one, stop judging yourself for being distracted. Stop judging yourself for being a jack of all trades but a master of none. See, Spirit does want us to master some things. Spirit does want us to really give our undivided attention to certain things. And so we have to understand that when we're fragmented, when our mind is everywhere, we're probably experiencing stress. We're probably experiencing stress, and we probably need to learn better stress management skills so that we're able to optimize the downloads and the revelations our higher selves is giving. Because at the end of the day, if you're not acting on the downloads, if the downloads are not changing you and transforming you, then you're not evolving into who you're meant to be. Got it? So I love and appreciate y'all. I just wanted to give that to y'all really, really quickly. Tap in with this energy. Trust me, trust me, trust me. If you can learn to focus your attention, if you can learn to really be in the present moment, if you can learn to optimize the present moment, you'll receive all the channels and the downloads that you need to transform your life. All right? Remember, this is not a negative. This is just something that you are learning. And as you grow as a spiritual being, having a human experience, developing your focus, developing your ability to meditate is going to be key to receiving your downloads and channels. All right? Peace and love, family. I'll see y'all in the higher self readings.